our very good friend, the U.S. Ambassador to Israel, David Friedman. Now, Ambassador Friedman is the first American ambassador to serve at the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem, where it belongs. It still feels so good to say that. We had a chance to catch up with him before he took the stage at the Night to Honor Israel here at the QAEDA Washington Summit. Take a look. We are here with the one and only U.S. Ambassador to Israel, David Friedman, here at your first QAEDA Washington Summit.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, but you're no stranger to QAEDA, by the way.
Not at all, but I haven't been to a summit, and I'm really excited. I love the crowd.
Yeah, now Ambassador Friedman is our keynote speaker tonight. It's going to be an amazing night. So much going on. Hey, just recently you were a part of the ceremony, I should say the reopening of the ancient pilgrimage road in Jerusalem. Tell us a bit about that experience, Ambassador, and how that's just a sign of some of the wonderful things going on in Jerusalem today that you have a first-hand glimpse at every day.
Well, you know, it started with a burst sewage pipe 15 years ago, and they brought in the plumbers, and they realized this was no ordinary job they were doing. And as they started to excavate, archaeologists came in, and they discovered, first of all, the pool that was built by Hezekiah in 700 BC, which was then expanded in the Herodian period to this massive pool that pilgrims of all types, Jewish and non-Jewish, would immerse themselves in before they ascended to the temple. And then after they discovered the pool, they said, well, is there a pathway from the pool to the up to the temple? And they discovered a completely intact road, the same flagstones as you have at the entrance to the walls of the temple, 2,000 feet of stairways and steps. This is where Jesus ascended to the temple. This is where over 2 million pilgrims ascended to the temple. You can stand there. It's not like looking at an ancient coin or a shard of glass or a parchment. You can stand there and you are immersed in history. It's incredible.
Talk about why an event like this, showing overwhelming Christian support for Israel and the Jewish people, is so important.
Well, look, I think this is a continuation of a more than a 200-year romance between the United States and Israel. It goes back long before the creation of the State of Israel. It goes back to John Adams. I think Secretary Pompeo quoted from our second president, John Adams, who said, in Judea, I wish a Jewish state. And it's just, this is the logical outcome of that relationship of so many years. Finally, though, we're seeing people in sufficient quantity to make a real difference. I mean, we're talking about millions and millions of Christians who support and love Israel in ways like never before. I think it has a profound effect on Israel's safety and security.
Ambassador, that's just one other symbol of that growing U.S.-Israel relationship under President Trump. Never been stronger. You have a front row seat for that as well. Tell us about that. I mean, unprecedented cooperation between Israel and the U.S. right now.
Look, it exists on every level. It exists from the mundane, from the commercial relationships to the, to the high tech, to the intel, to the military cooperation. But then, of course, it exists at a fundamentally emotional, heartfelt level as well. And I don't minimize that, because look, I think that all of us stand on the shoulders of history, on the shoulders of our forefathers. That's who we are. That's our DNA. I think if you deny someone's history, you can't live in peace with them. And I'm so happy to see the United States recognizing the deep historical bonds between Israel and our own founding fathers. And it's just growing in a very good way. And look, the president, when he appointed me, he said, look, I want you to repair and restore the relationship between the United States and Israel. And that's what we've been trying to do since the day that I became the ambassador.
I know you're a student of history, Ambassador. You mentioned history. You have a place in history now as the first ambassador to serve in Jerusalem, and historic moment of the embassy moving to Jerusalem. And you're a man of faith. And you've talked about that on TBN, your strong faith, how it motivates you. Last question, because I know you got to run and speak. When the band starts playing, you know it's a signal. The rise of anti-Semitism around the world, personal for you, number one, obviously, but why is it so important with that happening for this relationship to continue to grow?
Look, I think Israel is the ultimate answer to anti-Semitism. Jews have been through so much so much torment over thousands of years, from inquisitions to crusades to pogroms to the Holocaust to so many other things. But there was never a state of Israel at any point during all those horrors. The state of Israel is the bulwark against anti-Semitism. Of course we have to fight it wherever we see it. But thank God we have the state of Israel, which I think protects the Jewish people in ways like never before. And that's why it's so gratifying to see the Christian community standing with Israel, because when they do that, they're also standing against anti-Semitism.
Ambassador, thank God we have you serving America in Israel. Ambassador, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you tonight. Have a great night to honor Israel. Well, you can see we had the political area covered here at the summit with top officials from the United States and Israel. But we also had top media figures right here at the QAEDA Washington Summit. Stick around after the break for my conversation with Dennis Prager. We're coming to you from D.C. It's the QAEDA Washington Summit. Don't move.